What is up, guys? So today I'm going to be talking about writing hyperland with like no real external input, um, aside from like looking at the Wikipedia and figuring stuff out for myself and staring at other people's configuration files, which I guess is external input, but uh, so yeah, I did a poll. It was a poll on YouTube, and yeah, not that many people voted. Not a big deal, but I just wanted to I mean all these ones on this list I'm going to do anyway. So yeah. So Rad Poison and Hyperlame were the two ones that had the most votes. So I decided to just do Hyperland. Let's peel off the band-aid. um I guess this is on the course of like a day and a half me throwing it together. I tried to set it up like my normal thing, but I did a couple things different just to like mix it up a little. I'm using the Wofi. If we could bring it up. I got Wofi right here. I have it set up a little different. I wanted to get like a little more busyness in there, I guess. I wouldn't say that I'm fully done ricing this. So there's probably a couple more things I could do to it, but it's in a shape where aesthetically I like it and it fits in with everything else. If I do like my normal time thing, my time thing's there, my battery thing's there, Um, I have had like interesting situations where like my scripts aren't executing off of keybinds, which is interesting. If I come over here to my editor, so yeah, well, I'll talk about this real quick. I basically came into I got the default config and then I cleaned it up a bunch. I took all the extra comments and stuff out of it so I can navigate it faster. I've added stuff into these sections that I found on the wiki. And yeah, I've altered the animations a bit. Dwindle, I added a thing, smart resizing. Uh, yeah, and then I went into the keybinds. Some of these keybinds just like don't work. So I obviously I would have Qt browser on my normal. Let me get a new thing. On my normal keystroke, it don't work. I don't know if it's something with Qt browser interacting with Wayland or I don't know. But if I go into my app launcher and I do it, it works perfectly fine. So I don't know what's up with that. I also got this weird glitch that I noticed, which I've reproduced here and I made sure not to mess with it, but if I go like this, you see this? Is it picking up? It's all messed up. The blur or whatever it is. It's weird. I don't get what's going on with that. Um, yeah. I have no clue what's going on with that. So that's the thing. I also had this wait, let's see if I can reproduce this right here. Wait. I'm just gonna save. Okay. We're gonna restart, but we're gonna do it in a certain way. So I I now realize that there's a keystroke that was already in the keybinds, and I can just exit out. But what I was doing was this: is I was doing hyper ctl dispatch exit, right? So that this is the command that exits hyperland and goes back to the display manager, right? So we got light DM. I'm gonna try to log back in, and it's going to hang, and then it's not going to do anything, and then it's going to kick me back out. And then I got to come up here and restart. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I tried I tried looking around. I couldn't find anybody writing about that. I don't know if it's because I'm using LightDM or not. Uh I'm not sure what the recommended whatchamacallit, display manager would be. I think I remember back like 2 years ago when I had riced Hyperland, um, it was like GDM was the one that everybody, the GNOME display manager, but who knows? Overall, it was very easy to configure. However, I kept running into this thing that just happened to me that I just showed you. So time-wise, it took me probably twice as long. Um, yeah. Hold on. Let me go grab a smoke. All right. You got the fresh pack of smokes right here. Okay. So back to what I was saying. It was a lot of time because every time I would try to exit out and go back in, I would have to reboot the machine. So that was pretty lame. Um, trying to think if there's any other things. So, oh, another thing is when I was trying to set my normal like dunce toasts or whatever you want to talk about it, like these things where they pop up. So the scripts that I use, they push it through notify send. When I was first configuring Mako, I had it configured perfectly, like the way that it is now, but it kept showing up all weird. And I restarted my machine, and it kept showing up weird again. And what it would do is in the printout of what it said, it would say notify send with a little triangle, like arrow, kind of like nerd fonts thing or something, or awesome fonts or whatever. And I was like, yo, like, how do I fix this? How do I fix this? And then I like put I reverted it, and then I put the same changes that I put back into it. And there's nothing that changed between me reverting it and putting it back, right? There's nothing that changed. I did exactly the same. I restart, the same issue happens, and then I restart again, and it was fixed. Like, I restarted like 4 or 5 times, and eventually it was just fixed somehow. And I can't replicate it. I don't know what happened. It just works now and it's fixed. And it was so weird. And then the other thing about the whole scripts not launching, when I would have the scripts in there and I'd have them written, sometimes when I would go to load, like, you know how it kind of loads up the config when you type in your password on the display manager, it'll load the config right at the beginning. Um, it would do that hanging thing and fail out, and then I would go into the TTY and I'd hit get the config in nvim, and then it would I would delete what I changed and then reload it, and it would work perfectly fine. And I don't know, it was just so weird. So, and it only did it like certain times or whatever. I don't know. I really don't feel like it's me on this one. I don't feel like it's me on this one at all, because I've gotten pretty good at these config things. Sure, I mistype something or whatever, but I know how to zero in and fix it. You know what I mean? And I just don't know why this whole and I'll even show you like these stupid scripts. It's like nothing serious. It's not even really a script. It's just me hosting a command in a script so it makes it easier to set to a keybind. Like, that's basically all. It's not even anything serious at all. Like, so these are the hypers. This is me switching. These ones have no issue. These work perfectly fine, right? But it's like, what would be like one? Like this one right here. For whatever reason, this doesn't work. And I can't tell you why. Like, I just don't know why. So, yeah. I mean, I guess I could try and add, I shouldn't have to add space in between the crunch bang part and then I don't know. I can't explain what's going on. Who knows? Um, what else? What other glitchiness did I run into? Oh, okay, so Hyperpaper. Went to go set up Hyperpaper, and it didn't work. Now, back like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, whenever the hell it was, I used Hyperpaper, and that was like the easy fix. That's how I got it to work. So I know I configured it correctly this time, but I don't know if I'm missing a dependency or something. So I ended up using SwayBG, and SwayBG worked perfectly fine. And every time I've ever used SwayBG, it's worked perfect. Like when I was on Sway, and I actually, um, little lore, I did spend a couple nights with River. But it's like, I don't know why it didn't work. Well, I don't know why Hyperpaper didn't work this go around. Who knows? What else? All right, enough with the negatives. I think I've covered all the negatives. Let's talk about the well, okay, so there is other negatives. I can't use flame shot. Yeah, can't use flame shot. Other positives. I tried. I test ran OBS. Let's see, OBS. It doesn't seem like there's any issues. You can capture. Oh, okay. So capturing the display. Here's an issue. We don't get no wallpaper. Like, where's the wallpaper at, bud? So that was an issue, but if I open a window, right? So like let's open a terminal. Uh Oops. Right here, it will capture the window. Let's see, what? Oh, maybe it doesn't do like a terminal window. Anyway, I did, yeah, there was a little weirdness with that, but I mean, I'm not recording nothing on this. I just wanted to see like if I encountered any problems. But there was the one weirdness with the display capture, but the window capture when I had like Q browser open and like Thunar and other things, it did capture it properly. Um, okay, onward to the positives. So the positive things that I think about Hyperlands is this. Number one, it has a cool name, right? Number two, uh having the like all your compositor stuff and like the blurring and all that sort of stuff in here is very cool. I think that's a very convenient thing to have all this stuff like just right here. Uh Instead of having a separate config. So, if you're using things like Compton or PyCom, you have a whole separate config that you have to go into. Like having this all in one spot is really cool. I appreciate that. The way the blur works, I appreciate. It's very easy to understand. It's not like some like secret code words. Like I guess I don't know, Bezier or whatever this is. It might be a secret code word. I've been just ignoring what that is because it's goofy. It makes me want to giggle. So, setting up the keybinds was an interesting experience only because like sometimes stuff doesn't work. And I couldn't tell you why. It could be 100% user error on my behalf, but I feel like it wasn't. I've set this up 2 other times and I didn't have the same issues. Um, Trying to think what else. I really like the gradient So having the gradient and then having it like if I switch here and switch back, it's like animated a little bit. I really like that. I think more window managers need the gradient thing like that. That's very cool. Um, and like the blur, obviously. And then, one thing that I probably should mention too, it's like the way that resizing works by default on here is a lot nicer than most other window managers. Most other window managers, they try to do you with like let's pop this out into floating mode. They kind of do it with the keystrokes, but with this, it's with the mouse, which I don't like the mouse. And there's a lot about what they do with this that kind of encourages a little bit of the mouse. But I will say the resizing works nicely. And I have the smart resizing on, so if I'm just like near a corner, like I don't have to be right on top of it. I could be just like going in the direction or whatever. And like, you know. So yeah, that works good. Anyways, that's pretty much all I gotta say about it. I don't think it's like the most terrible window manager ever. I know I give it shit, but it's mainly because it's like Wayland and then like that Vaxery guy's kind of a spurg, and like the project itself seems like slightly volatile in certain ways. But at the same time, it's like intriguing because it's like, okay, well, this person's doing this, like that's actually cool. But then it gets ruined because of like the fanboy stuff, and then like people don't realize like actual functionality. It's like mediocre as a tiler. It's more like the window animations and stuff is what like really draws you in because it they do. I mean, once you get them set right, like they look really nice. Like I can't deny that. I personally myself am not a window manager guy. So like if you I mean animation guy. So if you like see this, like watch, we can turn them off for a minute and then you'll notice something. It just basically turns into a regular ass window manager. So like now, yeah, it's just like i3 or something, you know? Which ultimately I would probably use it like this over the animations, but for the video, and I know people like having the keys jingle in front of their face, um, gets them excited. We'll keep the animations on. Anyway, um, I give it a 5 out of 10. I've said this in other videos. The perfect desktop environment slash window manager slash tiler doesn't exist for me yet. I need something really cool. I'm hoping that walking into this rat poison situation, I can exploit that and make that really good. I'm gonna put a lot of work into this rat poison rice because there's very, very little content on YouTube about this, like very little. And there's a lot of information there. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. I think I'm gonna try to do some X2 tool stuff with it. It's gonna be sweet. And then it's also like pushes you towards the keyboard instead of the mouse. You know what I mean? Which I would much prefer to be in that situation. You gotta save your wrists, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, if you like the video, please like, comment, share, subscribe. You know, feel free to talk to me about your hyperland rice and how much you love hyperland and how wrong I am. Alright, later guys, have a good one. Peace.